Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar organized by CMIB, which is the Committee for Members in Industry and Business. The committee is led by our chairman, Dheeraj Khandelwalji, and this webinar is going to be on the dynamic topic real estate. I'm Manisha Luthra, your moderator and a chartered accountant for this session. So, as professionals, we understand that real estate sector is not just about properties. It's about building communities and creating sustainable value. Today, we explore the credit rating aspect of this industry and also how the is done in real estate projects in India. CMIB was formed with an objective to consider matters related to campus placement, the matters that affect members in service, basically, in particular, considering the problems related to career planning. It organizes events, CFO meets, 40 under 40 awards, and many other awards. So it's kind of a bridge between the prospective employees, the talent, and the employers. Here's what we have lined up for today. Firstly, let us hear from our esteemed guest speakers about the topics that we discussed, introducing CA Manish Jainji, who will share his insights on credit rating for real estate industry. Dr. Anil Yadav Rao Gaikwad, who will share his insights on financing of real estate projects. Following that, we will be able to engage in a Q&A session with our industry leaders, and we will conclude with that. So I encourage all of you to actively participate and share your views and questions. And this is what these, which make it very enriching. So let us proceed. Our first speaker is CA Manish Jainji. Manish Jainji, you are a chartered accountant, a CFA. You are having 16 good years of experience in this industry. You are also a founder of Finmin Advisory. You are a professional who shares his expertise in IPO advisory and credit rating specifically. Prior to your own venture, you have been working at CRISIL. So now it gives me an immense and great pleasure to Sir, I will please ask you to come forward and share your insights on the credit rating of real estate.
Thanks, Manisha ji. Thanks a lot for the nice introduction. So,
Pleasure, sir.
rating is something I have been doing for last 17 odd years, and this is the only thing I understand and know. So, if you ask me anything about rating, of course, I have some idea. So, and definitely, it's a great honor to talk to the our colleagues, chartered accountants, and all. So, I'm also a chartered accountant, and great honor to talk to all them and discuss about the opportunity, which is a very limited known thing, because rating is not something, is not that everybody is into the practice or everybody is doing on a daily basis. Of course, it's very important from the corporate perspective, because every corporate who borrow more than 50 crore above has to do a rating, and it impacts a lot on in their interest rates, their sanction terms, their collateral requirement, the kind of banks they can choose, and all. And it's very important to them. And more or less, some everybody must have heard about it. It might not have practiced in detail. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's a great concept, because this rating alone can save crores and crores worth of benefits or interest can be given to them. And that too into real estate, it's must, because real estate is an industry where it is always bankers or lenders are always little skeptical about the performances, and they're very cautious about giving the money and all. There, the rating helps a lot, and it has helped a lot in many of our clients, where we have seen people saving more than 100 crore plus on a single projects and single loans. So just because of the rating, the interest rates got down, the bankers was changed, and all these things. So Starting with I'll just try to brief about entire rating process, कैसे rating होती है, क्या rating है, and rating agencies कैसे से assess करती है. तो I and of course यहाँ पे भी कुछ doubt हो, कुछ भी हो तो you can always ask the question. पर मनीषा जी, I'm not able to see any participant. तो कैसे होता है ये?
So, sir, it is a live kind of an environment wherein the link is being shared with our audience. They will be viewing it from there and they will share their any questions. We will share the questions of the audience with you on this live webinar.
And also, I would like to understand that this audience is all only chartered accountants or someone else also?
Mainly CAs.
Only
I
chartered
would like, I say, tech team to please intervene and let us know about the audience if they could be any individuals from any industry or
I'm just
members.
asking because accordingly I can give my pitch
I
so
understand,
that
sir.
I know the audience because I'm not able to see anyone. That's the only problem. Otherwise, ठीक है.
Sir,
So I
most
assume it is
probably
all
they are
it is
members.
chartered accountant members only. No
Yeah.
problem. Thank you. So just to give a brief about me and so that at least you can relate what I'm talking and who am I on the topic. So, so okay. So yeah, so just to give a brief about what we do, so that you can relate to what I'm going to talk about. Only thing. So I'm a chartered accountant and a CFA, and I have worked in CRISIL rating earlier. And from that, we have started in 2000 a rating advisory company. This is the first of its kind service in India. So rating advisory was something you can see we have started in India. We are the oldest advisor in India for that, and we are the largest advisor in India for a rating advisory, credit rating for the corporates I'm talking about. And of course, we have been working pan India. We have a consultant over 6,500 plus assignments in last 14 years. We are a team of around 80 plus members and having offices across 10 locations across India. So just brief about women, just to have you brief about what exactly we do. There are some of the clients we have handled in real estate side, like विवियाना मॉल. मुंबई में मोस्टली होंगे तो विवियाना मॉल हो गया, नमन ग्रुप हो गया, वाधवा ग्रुप हो गया, शाहपुर जी हो गया, औरम है, भारत है, देन सॉलिटर ग्रुप पुणे में है, एम्पायर पुणे में है, देन सुमित ग्रुप एंड ऑल. दिस इज मुंबई एंड पुणे साइड्स बता रहा हूँ ज्यादा एंड ऑल. इट्स फाइन. सो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द मेन टॉपिक जो अपना जिसके लिए हम आप सब मिले हुए हैं. The rating, and of course, particularly focusing on the real estate, okay, how it is being done in the real estate industry. So the rating is very simple. It's a way to, I mean, there is a rating for individual also, which we call CIBIL score and Equifax score and all like this. This is a little different from than that. Of course, the objective is same. This is also telling about the credit worthiness, but this is talking about the credit worthiness of companies and corporates. So the process is completely different. And this involves a lot of physical discussions, the analytical discussions and all, and not just technology is being used. So this is a least technology used thing. And there's a lot of discussion, paperwork, and understanding, analysis, and everything goes into. So rating, when you talk about it, like talking about a credit worthiness of a company, इसमें credit worthiness में दो चीजें होती है discuss. One is the willingness to pay and then ability to pay. So ability to pay and willingness to pay ये भी दो different चीज होगी. जैसे one might have ability. So ability is being assessed based on his liquidity, his debt repayment. I mean his financial health, like gearing ratio क्या है, borrowings कितनी है, limit utilizations क्या है, overall profitability क्या है, DSCR ratios क्या है, and all these things will talk about ability. And after ability also, we have seen many times if there is no willingness, there might be a chance of lower credit worthiness of the person. तो विलिंगनेस में ये दिखता है कि उसका पहले का डेट रिपेमेंट हिस्ट्री क्या है, ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड्स क्या है, तो कौन सी ग्रुप से बिलोंग करता है, एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स. सो दिस बोथ पुट टुगेदर क्रिएट अ क्रेडिट वर्थिनेस एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी कॉल्ड अ क्रेडिट रेटिंग ऑफ अ कंपनी. Today is when we talk about ratings is being done by 7 rating agencies in India who are approved by SEBI and RBI. So they have to be approved by SEBI and RBI both. They can, and in India, for SEBI, for doing the rating for NCDs, bonds, commercial paper, and all, and for RBI for doing the rating for bank loan ratings, the loans which they borrow from the banks. So that's why they need RBI approval also. Out of this, CRISIL is the largest rating agency with more than 28,000 crore market cap. It's a listed company. Then we have ICRA and CARE Ratings. They are also the listed companies. So this CRISIL, ICRA, and CARE, they are the three listed rating agencies, and they are the three biggest rating agencies of the country, three oldest rating agency. They all three are more than 30-year-old rating agencies. Post that, of course, then they have India rating, then followed by Informatics rating, followed by Acute, and then followed by Brickwork. These are the later entrant rating agencies in the country, where India rating started somewhere in 2004-5, or kind Acute started in 2014, Brickwork started in 2011, the bank loan rating side, and the Informatics started in some 15, 16, or 16 or 17. So these are the all seven rating agencies who have today present and have been doing the rating business more or less. So if someone wants to do a corporate wants to do a rating for his bank loans, his bonds, his debentures, his commercial paper, these are the same agencies he has to go to. And this is a rating scale, which you can see. So starting with the highest being the AAA rating and lowest being the D rating. So AAA rating is, of course, so in this also, if you say from AAA and D को छोड़ दें, तो उसके अलावा AA to C, there is plus and minus also there. So there will be a rating called AA plus also, AA and AA minus also, A plus also, A and A minus also, triple E plus, triple B, triple E minus also, double E plus, double B, double B. And you can read the description also. The AAA is the highest safety, minimal credit risk. मतलब it's credit, very high credit client. AA again, little or high safety, then adequate safety, moderate safety. Until BBB minus, it's an investment grade rating. From BB plus to C, it's a speculative grade rating, and D is a default rating. In rating agencies, the default is not when the client become NPA, and rating agency D becomes when even if they have delayed the installment by 1 day also. So that also is a default for the rating agency. So, so more or less, everybody for a banking terms, bankers normally prefer clients who are into investment grade category, that is from AAA to triple B category. So bankers prefer in that area mainly, AAA to triple B category. That is the main area where they are more comfortable giving the money to the real estate players mainly. So that is, and this is the standard rating scale. So with all the seven rating agencies, the scale remains same. So you cannot have a different rating scale with a different rating agency. This is a standard rating scale, standard description, standard definitions. So nothing changes. So this real estate sector, when we talk about the rating agencies, look at mainly three things: residential real estate, then commercial real estate, like residential, the home and all, and the commercial is office spaces and everything. Then industrial warehouses and all are industrial, and then there is a code called REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. So this is all we all are aware about, and and there are some differences in while doing the rating in all this category. I'll explain you also while we go on the presentation. And there are some key highlights also for the real estate. I mean, since COVID, the real estate is doing very good. In fact, the ratings also have started improving for real estate, which was not doing well before COVID, and the ratings are also subdued. So in post-COVID, if you can say, there are a lot of inflows is coming in. In fact, last this 2024 only, we have got $4 billion of investment, which is around 32,000 crore rupees in various, in mainly that is also particular to industrial and warehousing sectors. Residential sector is growing year on year with investments of around $1 billion and all mostly. And then we have also seen strong sales momentum across sectors, residential as well as commercial, and all more or less every sectors, because and it's not just a particular area; it's across India. This there, this year, it's the demand is not that high, but for since COVID, it has been growing fast, and the prices have also been increasing. But at the same time, the problem is post COVID, the construction cost has increased a lot for the real estate guys. There is interest cost has also increased a lot because the repo rate and everything has been increasing since last 2 3 years. there is, especially in Mumbai and NCR, there is a various high unsold inventory also, as per the report by Knight Frank and Hindustan Times. Somewhere around 4,71,000 units are unsold in Mumbai and NCR. So that is there. And somewhat in IT sector, particularly the office space requirement has come down because of work from home culture, everything which has come down. But overall, it's been doing good. Overall, for last 3 4 years, the sales has increased. The velocity is high. See, people are buying properties, and the numbers are good for real estate companies. So that's a positive for real estate for last 3 4 years. We have also seen certain changes in the real estate, mainly the real estate, the rating universe. If you say want to see, so if I see all the clients who are rated in the rating agencies, you see the maximum are into 36% of triple B category, then double B category, and then A category. So more or less everything is covered in this three category. So that is that. I'm talking about this is a total 782 clients who are rated on the by the all the seven rating agencies put together. So 782 real estate clients rated by these rating agencies. So more or less, if you say more than 35% clients are under investment grade category, and only 25% are A and above category. So more maximum are into triple B, double B category only, and that's where people have a fight. So from a double B, people want to move to triple B, and from triple B, people want to move to A because that saves a lot for them. And out of also this, when you say triple B category also there are 400 odd clients rated somewhere around. In that, 45% are only triple B minus. They're the lowest band of the investment grade. So that's the more or less the real estate rating universe. Where just wanted to give a brief about how the real estate ratings are becoming. This is also just rating actions I wanted to show. Okay, out of the 782 ratings which are happened in last 2 years, there has been very few downgrades. As I was saying, the real estate is doing good. You can also see in this, the only 4.73% of the companies have only been downgraded by the rating agency, whereas 72% has been retained, and whopping 23% has been upgraded. This is never the case in rating agencies. Rating agencies don't upgrade like that. But since the industry is doing good, since the rating was all on the lower side because of the past slowdown and everything, the rating have started improving for the real estate business and companies. And that's why you can see the upgrade ratio of is 22% of our companies are upgraded, which is very, very good for last 2 years. And this RERA also, which came in 2016, if you can see, this has also helped a lot in the real estate rating improvements and all because of the transparency and the just transparency in the data and everything. Because there are 1,30,000 real estate projects are registered today on the RERA. And now every money which is coming in is being deposited to escrow. That gives a lot of investor confidence or the home buyer confidence while they are booking the units and everything. Because earlier, what used to happen that they were builders and real estate developers were taking the money and using it for some different projects and different areas only. Now, at least they have to use the 70% of the money which are taking from the buyers into the same projects only. They cannot use it from where else. They have to use it in the same projects only, or if not required, that has to be money in the escrow account until the OC occupation certificate is received. This has increased consumer confidence a lot. And that's why this is also helping a lot in sales velocity, which has increased a lot for the builders and all. And because of the RERA, the time project delivery has also improved. 20 to 30% reduced has the delays has been reduced because of the tight timelines, stricter norms, and everything in the RERA. Yeah. Around 88,000 real estate agents are also registered under RERA. So you look at 88,000 real estate agents registered under RERA, and they are also being governed by the norms as per RERA. Well, that's a very good initiative into real estate by the RERA because that has helped a lot. All the home buyers and everything getting the confidence at the same time, real estate developer making them disciplined. So they have also become a discipline a lot. They are also wary of the norms. They are also very thoughtful in using the money which they are taking from the customers and all. So that's a lot helping being done by this RERA, and this is the results are also being seen. Of course, impact of rating upgrade in real estate or ratings in the real estate, but everybody understands the major benefit is the financing. I mean, what we are doing the rating is mainly for getting the money from the lenders. And in real estate, there are many kind of lenders, not just banks. In real estate, you will find bankers, the private sector bankers being going giving, and the private sector bankers going giving the lowest rate of interest, then moving to NBFCs who are also giving in the range of 12 to 15%. Then moving to that above that, there are also let us funds available. Lot of AIFs are there who are also giving ranging from 15% to 24%. So there are in real estate, the money is available from a rate of 8% or 7.5% to say 24%. And there are a lot, every category of interest rate, there are a lot in lenders available. And there are a lot of buyers also, मतलब borrowers are available. There are real estate developers available जो हर रेट में हर इंटरेस्ट रेट पे लेने को रेडी है फ्रॉम 9% टू 20%. हर कैटेगरी के रियल एस्टेट डेवलपर्स अवेलेबल है और वो ले रहे हैं. सो ये इतना वाइल्ड फील्ड सिर्फ रियल एस्टेट में और कहीं नहीं है. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में या अदर बिजनेसेस में इतना वाइल्ड फील्ड नहीं है रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट का जहाँ पे आपको 24-22% वाला इतना नॉर्मल सिनेरियो दिखो पैसे लेने वाले यहाँ दिखते हैं रियल एस्टेट में बिकॉज माइट बी द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज हाई और माइट बी द रिक्वायरमेंट इज देयर. तो रेटिंग ये पूरा जो साइकिल है 9 to 24% को उसको बहुत हद तक कम करने की कोशिश कर दी है कि कोई 20% वाले को 15% तक ला ले या 15% वाले को 10% पे ला ले. तो देर इज ए ह्यूज बेनिफिट ऑफ द रेटिंग टू स्पेशली टू रियल एस्टेट बिजनेसेस क्योंकि वहाँ पे रेंज इज ह्यूज एंड द बेनिफिट इज ऑल्सो ह्यूज अगर इफ समथिंग रेटिंग अपग्रेड होती है एंड रेट्स कम होते हैं. तो उस कारण ये बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट करती है रियल एस्टेट में टू मैनी क्लाइंट्स. इनफैक्ट देर आर मैनी क्लाइंट्स ऑफ अस जहाँ पे एज आई सेड कि मतलब 1,000 करोड़ का लोन था और 5% इंटरेस्ट कम हो गया. किसी का 700 करोड़ का लोन था एंड रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट रिड्यूस में 7%. तो बहुत बार देखा है. तो दिस इज देयर मतलब इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देम. उसके अलावा फाइनेंसिंग ऑप्शन ओपन हो जाते हैं बहुत सारे लेंडर्स बहुत सारे बैंक्स ओपन अप हो जाते हैं विद द बेस्ड ऑन रेटिंग बिकॉज देयर आर सम थ्रेशोल्ड रेटिंग उसके नीचे वो लोग लैंड करना नहीं चाहते हैं. तो वो जो लोअर रेट वाले बैंकर्स और लेंडर्स है उनके लिए भी रेटिंग इंप्रूव होना बहुत जरूरी है अदरवाइज वो नहीं लैंड कर पाते हैं. तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. फाइनेंसिंग ऑप्शन ओपन हो जाते हैं. इन्वेस्टर्स को भी बेनिफिट बहुत होता है बिकॉज उनको एक थर्ड पार्टी असेसमेंट मिल जाता है एक डिटेल असेसमेंट मिल जाता है एक डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन मतलब कंपनी के बारे में मिल जाती है. तो वो बहुत सारी चीज़ें उनको हेल्प करती है इन्वेस्टर्स को भी. तो देयर आर लॉट बेनिफिट अपार्ट फ्रॉम ऑफ कोर्स रेटिंग इज अ पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट तो हर कोई आपका रेटिंग चेक कर सकता है. तो आपको it always helps you also in build your credibility, build your goodwill, because it's all a goodwill business. Real estate is a goodwill business because the consumer who's coming, he's putting his all hard-earned money in your project. Of course, वहाँ पे उसको जब तक कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आता है बिल्डर पे तो वो पैसे देगा नहीं और उसके लिए रेटिंग ऑल्सो हेल्प इट्स अ पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट. दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट ये थोड़ा सा मतलब थोड़ा सा मतलब डिफरेंस भी होता है रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज की रेटिंग में और नॉर्मल रेटिंग्स में बिकॉज रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज की रेटिंग का असेसमेंट का तरीका बहुत डिफरेंट होता है और नॉर्मल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी ट्रेडिंग कंपनी सर्विस कंपनी से. और बिजनेस भी बहुत डिफरेंट है इसलिए तरीका भी बहुत डिफरेंट होता है. जैसे रेटिंग रियल एस्टेट को रेटिंग करनी होती है तो वो मोस्टली क्या होता है कि नॉर्मल कंपनीज में देर इज पीएनएल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस एक रेवेन्यू का ट्रेंड है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में कि इस साल 100 करोड़ किया तो अगले साल 120 करेगा उसके अगले साल 140 करेगा. देर इज 10-20-30% स्केल प्लस एंड माइनस होगा और उसी साइकिल में चलता रहेगा बिकॉज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल इज सेम सीजन इज सेम सब कुछ सेम है. रियल एस्टेट में इट्स कंप्लीट डिफरेंट. रियल एस्टेट में आप पीएनएल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट देखते हो कुछ समझ में नहीं पाओगे क्योंकि सेल साइकिल 3 साल का है 4 साल का है एंड आपको प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन मेथड पे जाते हो या उसमें जाते हैं तो आपका शुरू में कॉस्ट बुक ज़्यादा होती है. धीरे 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 आपकी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी लास्ट में जब बुकिंग होती है कंप्लीट होती है सेल हैंडओवर होते हैं तब प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आती है. तो वो क्या आपकी बैलेंस शीट पूरी 3-4 साल तक बिगड़ी मतलब प्लस माइनस रहती है. कोई साल में लॉस भी होगा कोई साल में बम्पर प्रॉफिट होगा. तो यू कैन नॉट जज रियल एस्टेट कंपनी बाय लुकिंग इट्स पीएनएल प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट. वो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट सिर्फ नॉर्मल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ट्रेडिंग सर्विस में चल सकता है, रियल एस्टेट में बहुत मुश्किल होता है कि आप प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट दे सकते हो, अनलेस आपके बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट चल रहे हैं और ऐसा है कि लाइक लोढ़ा डेवलपर या डीएलएफ या वो, जहाँ पे आपको लगेगा कि हर साल कुछ ना कुछ प्रोजेक्ट डिलीवर हो रहे हैं, हर साल कुछ ना कुछ प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च हो रहे हैं, तो आपका पीएनएल कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉफिट आ रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं खर्चे हो रहे हैं, तो चल रहा है बराबर से। बट अदरवाइज इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड अ कंपनी, नॉर्मल रियल एस्टेट कंपनी, बाय लुकिंग एट इट्स पीएनएल। वो आपको राइट पिक्चर या ट्रू पिक्चर दे ही नहीं पाएगी। तो वो एक बहुत जरूर इम्पोर्टेंट है ना, बोल रहे। हाँ। तो उसके बाद में देर इज ऑल्सो रिस्क ऑल्सो, बाकी सब में कोई एग्जीक्यूशन, प्रोजेक्ट एग्जीक्यूशन रिस्क नहीं है कि भाई बिल्डिंग 3 साल में बनानी है, नहीं तो रिस्क है। वहाँ पे सब कुछ सेट है, नॉर्मल बिजनेस, यू बाय यू सेल एंड ट्रांजेक्शन हैव कंप्लीट इन 1 मंथ टाइम, 15 डेज टाइम। तो यहाँ 3 इयर्स, 4 इयर्स, 5 इयर्स प्रोजेक्ट चलते हैं, तो वो बहुत रिस्क होती है। लेवरेज भी बहुत ज्यादा रहती है रियल एस्टेट में, क्योंकि 3-4 इयर्स प्रोजेक्ट है, दे हैव टू बोरो मनी, दे हैव टू ऑल्सो take money from the customer, so that is also a different risk to manage the money of the people and everything, तो उसको अलग से दिखना चाहिए। इसमें आपको पूरा असेसमेंट हैपन्स ऑन योर फंडिंग प्लान, कि आप कितना पोर्शन कस्टमर से लेने वाले हो, कितना पोर्शन बैंक से लेने वाले हो, कितना आप खुद इन्वेस्ट करने वाले हो टू कंप्लीट द प्रोजेक्ट। वो सब बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। रेगुलेशंस इम्पैक्ट बहुत करती है यहाँ पे, कभी भी साइकोलॉजिकल और सेंटिमेंट्स भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं। तो इसको बहुत डिफरेंट तरीके से देखना पड़ता है, नॉट लाइक अ नॉर्मल कंपनी। तो इसके लिए मतलब अभी जो हम बताने भी वाला हूँ एज अ रेटिंग, वो रियल एस्टेट का कंप्लीट डिफरेंट होने वाला है और किसी और का बहुत डिफरेंट होने वाला है, तो वो जरूरी है। तो नॉर्मली देखने के तरीके में बहुत सिर्फ 3-4 बिगर साइड में, एक बिजनेस साइड देखा जाता है, फिर फाइनेंशियल साइड देखा जाता है, फिर जो प्रोजेक्ट अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन है उसको देखा जाता है, एंड मैनेजमेंट को देखा जाता है। ये 4 चीजें किसी भी कंपनी को असेस करने के लिए यूज होती है। तो पैरामीटर्स डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं इंडस्ट्री इंडस्ट्री, पर मोर और लेस यही 4 चीजें देखी जाती है कि पहले आप बिजनेस समझोगे, पहले फिर आप फाइनेंशियल समझोगे, फिर कोई प्रोजेक्ट है उसको समझोगे, एंड देन मैनेजमेंट को समझोगे, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली डिसाइड द सम ऑफ ऑल, या बिकॉज ऑफ वन पॉइंट और सेकंड पॉइंट द रेटिंग मोर और लेस विल कम्स कि इसका क्या फाइनल रेटिंग हो सकता है। तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। तो गोइंग बाय वन, सबसे पहले बिजनेस रिस्क थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ में समझा देता हूँ आपको कि बिजनेस रिस्क में क्या देखा जाता है। तो बिजनेस रिस्क को भी 2 चीजों में डिवाइड किया जाता है, मार्केट पोजीशन और ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंसी। मार्केट पोजीशन इज लाइक कि आपका ओवरऑल मार्केट शेयर क्या है एज अ डेवलपर, डाइवर्सिफिकेशन कितना है, डेवलपमेंट का ट्रैक, मतलब मार्केट पोजीशन में मार्केट शेयर क्या है। जैसे डीएलएफ हो गया या लोडा हो गया, तो इन सब का स्ट्रॉन्ग मार्केट शेयर है, तो उनकी रेटिंग भी बहुत उस कारण बेनिफिट मिलता है उनको। कोई नॉर्मल छोटा डेवलपर भी होता है, उसको वो जोग्राफी का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन भी होता है, तो उसका एक प्रॉब्लम होता है। तो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इन टर्म्स ऑफ जोग्राफीज क्या है, आप सिर्फ एक ही एरिया में कर रहे हो या आप बहुत सारी सिटीज में कर रहे हो, आप एक ही टाइप के प्रोजेक्ट करते हो कि भाई सिर्फ अल्ट्रा लग्जरी करता हूँ मैं, या सिर्फ अफोर्डेबली करता हूँ, या सिर्फ रेसिडेंशियली करता हूँ, या सिर्फ कमर्शियली करता हूँ, या सिर्फ इंडस्ट्रियली करता हूँ। तो मोर द डाइवर्सिफिकेशन मोर द बेटर फॉर द रेटिंग एजेंसी। तो वो हमेशा चाहती है कि आप ज्यादा डाइवर्सिफाइड रहो इन टर्म्स ऑफ ज्योग्राफीज, इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑल्सो। ब्रांड ऑल्सो हेल्प यू कि आपका ब्रांड की क्या वैल्यू, बिकॉज रियल एस्टेट इज ऑल मतलब सेलिंग, मतलब यू आर सेलिंग अ फ्यूचर होम टू अ बायर नाउ, तो एक आप उसको होप बेच रहे हो आज पैसे लेके, तो उसमें ब्रांड बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हेल्प करती है। आपने वो देख भी देते हो, मतलब ऐसे कि भाई कोई अच्छे ब्रांड का प्रोजेक्ट आ रहा है, लाइक गोदरेज हो गया, ओबराय हो गया, लोड़ा हो गया, डीएलएफ हो गया, प्रेस्टीज हो गया, तो उसमें आपको क्वेश्चन नहीं होगा, बिकॉज यू नो कि पिरामल हो गया और एक बन जाएगा, आ जाएगा। तो कोई दूसरा होगा तो देयर विल ऑलवेज रिस्क। तो वो उसका प्रीमियम ही मिलता है डेवलपर्स को, बिकॉज ऑफ दी देयर ब्रांड विच दे हैव बिल्ड ओवर द इयर्स, वेयर दे हैव शोन दैट कि कोई भी सिचुएशन में उन्होंने अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स टाइम भी डिलीवर किए हैं एंड एवरीथिंग। तो वो जरूरी है। डेवलपमेंट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड वही है कि जो उनके हमेशा टाइम से डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज पास्ट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि आपने जितने भी पहले के पास्ट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड किए हैं, वो प्रोजेक्ट्स आपने टाइम पे डिलीवर किए हैं कि नहीं किए। अगर आपका डिले ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है तो आपको रेटिंग को बहुत इम्पैक्ट करता है वो भी। तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप टाइम पे करते हो नहीं करते हो। फिर ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंसी, कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड ऑपरेशन, मतलब ये तो हो गया मुझे बाहर की चीजों का बोल रहा था मैं। ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंसी इज टॉक अबाउट दी जो इंटरनल कंपनी के लिए है, वो चीजें भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। जैसे कि आपका कंस्ट्रक्शन का स्टेज क्या है, अभी अभी जस्ट आपने जस्ट शुरू किया है कंस्ट्रक्शन करना, कि ऑलरेडी 40, 50, 60, 70% कंप्लीट कर चुके हो। तो जितना ज्यादा कंप्लीट कर चुके हो उतनी ज्यादा रिस्क कम हो गई आपके लिए। आपका सेल का रिस्क क्या, सेल का स्टेटस क्या है, मतलब कितना परसेंटेज ऑफ आप बेच चुके हो, तो मतलब आपने अभी 5% ही बेचा है या प्रोजेक्ट का 80% बेचा है, उसमें भी बहुत रिस्क कम हो जाती है, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव सोल्ड इनफ देन आपको पैसे की प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी और आपका कंस्ट्रक्शन में भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी। तो आपने अगर 70-80% बेच लिया, 60-70% बेच लिया, तो मोर और लेस आपकी कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट कवर हो जाएगी। और पैसा भी अभी रेरा के कारण एस्क्रो अकाउंट में रहता है, तो श्योरिटी है कि वो काम मतलब हो ही जाएगी। अनलाइक अदर के पहले तो रेरा के पहले वो पैसा बेचने के बाद किसी और प्रोजेक्ट में चला जाता था और फिर भी प्रोजेक्ट प्रॉब्लम में आ जाता था। अभी वो रिस्क कम हो गई है, क्योंकि अभी वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं आती इतनी। फिर आपके प्रोजेक्ट मिक्स या पोर्टफोलियो क्या है, वो भी बहुत हेल्प करती है कि सिर्फ रेसिडेंशियल, रियल एस्टेट, होटल, एलआरडी, लीज रेंटल नहीं है। वो सब भी आपको, कि आपको कुछ कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आए, कोई स्लोडाउन आए पर्टिकुलर एरिया में या कहीं कोई एक ही सिंगल प्रोजेक्ट में हो, तो आप कैसे इधर उधर विस्टैंड कर पाओगे, आप कैसे उसको लिक्विडिटी को बचा पाओगे, कैसे आपके रेवेन्यू सोर्सेज ओपन रहेंगे। So अभी थर्ड इज द सेकंड इज द फाइनेंशियल रिस्क। फाइनेंशियल इज मोर अबाउट द नंबर्स विच वी टॉक अबाउट। तो नंबर्स में इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है कि सबसे पहला कि आपका कैश फ्लो एडिक्वेसी क्या है। कैश फ्लो एडिक्वेसी मतलब कि आपका मोटा मोटी आपका जो डेट और इंटरेस्ट ऑब्लिगेशंस है, बोरोइंग और इंटरेस्ट ऑब्लिगेशन, उसके सामने आपके कितने कैश फ्लोज की अवेलेबिलिटी है। कैश फ्लो अवेलेबिलिटी भी दो तरीके से देखी जाती है। एक तो सोल्ड, आपने जो माल बेच चुका है उसका क्या रिसीवेबल आना बाकी है, दैट वन बिकॉज सर्टेन कैश फ्लो। सेकंड आपका अनसोल्ड है, उसका कितना आने बाकी है, दैट इज लेसर कंफर्टेबल बिकॉज उसको अनसोल्ड है और अनसर्टन है। तो वो दोनों को क्लब करके भी देखा जाता है कि टोटल अमाउंट जितना पैसा प्रोजेक्ट से आने वाला है और उसके सामने मेरा डेट और कॉस्ट जो पेंडिंग है वो कितना है। वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है देखने के लिए। प्लस मेरे लिए फ्री कैश एंड बैंक यूटिलाइजेशन कुछ अवेलेबल है कि नहीं है, यूटिलाइज बैंक लिमिट कितनी है, वो सब लिक्विडिटी भी देखनी बहुत जरूरी है। अनयूटिलाइज बैंक लिमिट है, कुछ फ्री कैश फ्लो अवेलेबल है कि नहीं है। एंड इम्पोर्टेंट लैंड बैंक भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया रेटिंग एजेंसीज के लिए, रेटिंग देने के लिए, कि आपके पास कितना लैंड बैंक है एंड ऑल। जैसे डीएलएफ के पास कुछ 187 मिलियन स्क्वायर फीट लैंड होगा, गोदरेज के पास 215 वो होगा, मतलब देर आर दी वेरी लार्ज लैंड ओनर्स। तो उनको क्या है कि रेटिंग एजेंसी को कंफर्ट है कि चलो लैंड इनके पास है तो सिर्फ कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट का ही खर्चा है, वो तो कभी भी इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज द लैंड इज अ वेरी कॉस्टली थिंग इन टूडेज टाइम। तो वो बहुत जरूरी है। एंड लिक्विडिटी वाइज भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आपके पास कैश कितना अवेलेबल है, लिक्विडिटी एंड लेवरेज। जैसे ऑबरे रियल्टी की आप बात करो, तो ऑबरे रियल्टी के पास 800 करोड़ का तो एज ऑन दिसंबर 23 में कैश पड़ा था। गोदरेज प्रॉपर्टीज की बात करें तो उसके पास 4,000 करोड़ का फ्री कैश एंड लिक्विड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स पड़े थे मार्च 24 में। और कोल्टे पाटिल की भी बात करें तो उसके पास भी कुछ 500 करोड़ का कैश एंड कैश इक्विवलेंट था। तो देर ऑल्सो हेल्प, बिकॉज इतना कैश आपके पास पड़ा है, इतना पैसा आपके पास पड़ा है, तो आपको थोड़ा प्रोजेक्ट में रिस्क कम आएगी। फिर लास्टली प्रोजेक्ट्स पे भी आके देखते हैं कि जो प्रोजेक्ट रियल एस्टेट जिसका हम रेटिंग कर रहे हैं, उसमें इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की कितनी रिस्क है, कौन सा कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है जो कर रहा है, उसका क्या ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, फंडिंग की रिस्क, मतलब बैंक से लोन मिल गया है कि नहीं मिला है, कि पूरा पैसा जो प्रमोटर लाने वाला है तो उसके पास उतना पैसा अवेलेबल है कि नहीं है, कि डिपेंडेंसी अगर कस्टमर्स पे है तो कस्टमर से कितना सेल हो चुका है नहीं हो चुका है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। वो सब बहुत देखा जाता है। फिर डिमांड रिस्क भी देखी जाती है कि जिस एरिया में बन रहा है उसमें क्या डिमांड है, उसके आसपास के प्रोजेक्ट्स क्या प्राइस में बिक रहे हैं कि नहीं बिक रहे हैं, सेल्स वेलोसिटी क्या है, कितने बिकते हैं, तो वो सब भी बहुत असेसमेंट होता है। एंड देन लास्टली इज द मैनेजमेंट रिस्क, जो सबसे वो भी इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो मैनेजमेंट रिस्क में ये तीन चीजें देखी जाती है। रिस्क एपेटाइट क्या है मैनेजमेंट की, कि वो क्या बोलते हैं कि कितना रिस्क मतलब एग्रेसिव है, कि बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट एक साथ शुरू कर देते हैं, कि एक वन बाय वन करते हैं, क्या करते हैं। तो वो रिस्क एपेटाइट देते हैं, कितना बोरोइंग्स कर लेते हैं अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स में, या कितना कस्टमर एडवांस में डिपेंडेंसी है, तो वो सब रिस्क एपेटाइट में देखा जाता है। कंपिटेंस इज ऑल अबाउट देयर एक्सपीरियंस, देयर ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड, देयर टीम एंड एवरीथिंग इज बीइंग सीन। एंड देन इंटीग्रिटी इज मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट, कि भाई ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड क्या है, पास्ट में कोई प्रॉब्लम हुआ हुआ है नहीं हुआ हुआ है, डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस में कैसे बिहेव किया है, दिस इज ऑल बीइंग सीन इन द हिस्ट्री। तो हर चीज बहुत डिटेल में देखी जाती है। जैसे क्या लेवल ऑफ, जैसे सनटेक है तो सनटेक के रेटिंग अच्छी होने का एक रीजन ये भी है कि एज ए रिलायबल रियल एस्टेट प्लेयर नाम गिना जाता है महाराष्ट्र में पर्टिकुलरली। तो वो बहुत जरूरी होता है। तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपकी कंपिटेंस में ये भी देखा जाएगा कि आपकी एग्जीक्यूशन कैपेबिलिटीज कैसी है, तो वो सब चीज़ें। तो ये मोरलेस रेटिंग देखने के तरीके थे। इसमें जैसे मैं आपको बताया कि तीन चीज़ें इंपॉर्टेंट, चार चीज़ें, बिजनेस रिस्क, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क, प्रोजेक्ट रिस्क एंड मैनेजमेंट रिस्क। इन चारों में अलग 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 तरीके से असेसमेंट करके एक ओवरऑल रेटिंग बनाई जाती है और उस हिसाब से आपको रेटिंग दी जाती है। एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस जो एक लीज रेंटल डिस्काउंटिंग भी रेटिंग होती है, एलआरडी रेटिंग, तो वो एलआरडी रेटिंग में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट तरीके से देखा जाता है, क्योंकि एलआरडी में लीज रेंटल डिस्काउंटिंग मतलब यू हैव अ कमर्शियल प्रॉपर्टी जिसको आपने रेंट पे दे दिया, या आपके पास कोई मॉल है जिसको आपने रेंट पे चला रहे हो, तो आप उसमें आपकी इनकम रेंटल इनकम होती है, ना कि आपको सेल ऑफ फ्लैट से कुछ पैसे आने वाले हैं। तो वो रेंटल इनकम को फिर डिफरेंट तरीके से रेंटल इनकम कंपेयर करते हैं लोन रिपेमेंट ऑब्लिगेशन से, और उस हिसाब से उसको डी से रेशियो होता है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। आपके जो टेनेंट है वो कुछ सी क्वालिटी के हैं, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपका जो एग्रीमेंट है रेंटल का वो कितने सालों का है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपकी कमर्शियल प्रॉपर्टी कितने सालों से लीज पे है और उसका क्या ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। लोकेलिटी कौन सी है, और उस आसपास में कितना कंपटीशन है, कितनी फ्री स्पेस अवेलेबल है, वो सब चीज़ें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहती है। तो कोई मॉल से पर्टिकुलरली तो कितना फुटफॉल है, कितने लोग आ रहे हैं एवरी वीक एवरी मंथ, वो सब बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। तो एलआईडी को थोड़ा डिफरेंट तरीके से देखा जाता है, इसलिए मैंने इसको अलग से स्लाइड में आपको समझाया है कि एलआईडी को कैसे असेस किया जाता है। तो इट इज़ वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट असेसमेंट, और बहुत डिफरेंट तरीके से देखा जाता है। रियल एस्टेट मार्केट में बहुत सारे असेसमेंट के चैलेंजेस और वो भी होंगे, मतलब रहते हैं, क्योंकि रियल एस्टेट मार्केट ही बहुत ही साइक्लिकल है, सब लोग समझते ही हैं, कभी अप कभी डाउन, कभी डिमांड हाई कभी डिमांड स्लो। डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और लीगल बहुत सारे प्रोसेस रहते, बहुत बार प्रोजेक्ट्स डिले ही डिले होते रहते बिकॉज ऑफ द लीगल प्रॉब्लम एंड एवरीथिंग। कस्टमर सेल पे बहुत सारा एडवांस पे रिलायंस पे होता है, वो बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि कस्टमर से सेल होगा और फिर एडवांस आएगा फिर कंस्ट्रक्शन होगा, तो ये बहुत ही विशियस सर्कल हो जाता है बहुत बार, कि सेल नहीं हो रहा है इसलिए कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं हो रहा है, कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं हो रहा है इसलिए सेल नहीं हो रहा, तो इस कारण भी बहुत बार प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है। तो वो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। फिर लिक्विडिटी का, रेगुलेटरी कंप्लायंस, इंटरेस्ट रेट का बहुत इंपैक्ट होता है, कि अगर गलती से भी होम लोन रेट्स ये सब बढ़ जाते हैं तो सेल्स पे और डिमांड पे प्रॉब्लम आना शुरू हो जाता है। तो वो सब चीजें भी बहुत सारी रियल एस्टेट को इम्पैक्ट है, इसलिए ये थोड़ा डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्री गिनी जाती है हमेशा से। ये तो चलो कुछ इम्पैक्ट फॉर डिलीवरीज है, जहाँ पे जैसे इसने बताया कि इसका एक क्लाइंट में 100 करोड़ का इंटरेस्ट बच गया, एक क्लाइंट का पूरा पूरा सोलार का ही पैनल लग गया अच्छे से बिकॉज ऑफ द मॉल। तो ये बहुत सारी चीजें चलती रहती है। उसके अलावा अभी आजकल रियल एस्टेट मतलब मोरलेस रियल एस्टेट असेसमेंट आपको मैंने अच्छे से मतलब बताने की कोशिश की है डिटेल में। ऑफ कोर्स बहुत सारी चीजें पर्टिकुलरली कंपनी टू कंपनी, प्लेयर टू प्लेयर, डेवलपर टू डेवलपर, प्रोजेक्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट भी फर्क पड़ती है, कि उसकी में क्या स्ट्रेंथ है क्या वीकनेस है, वो सब भी देखना पड़ता है। और ओवरऑल बताने का रीजन ये था कि रेटिंग एजेंसी goes a lot in detail while doing the rating, मतलब देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मीटिंग्स विल हैपन, लॉट ऑफ डिस्कशंस विल हैपन, और बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी तब जाके रेटिंग मिलती है। एंड इट इज अ लॉट डिटेल असेसमेंट ऑल्सो, द टीम एंड एवरीथिंग हु डू द रेटिंग ऑल्सो आर मोस्टली एमबीएस एंड चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स, तो ये करते हैं। उसके अलावा अभी न्यू ट्रेंड भी आ रहे हैं रियल एस्टेट में जो रेटिंग्स में, तो अभी मोस्टली रेटिंग्स के साथ अभी ईएसजी का भी एक नोट रहता है रेटिंग के साथ, अगर आपने रेटिंग नेशनल कुछ पढ़े होंगे तो ईएसजी नोट भी आजकल रहता है। तो ईएसजी और एनवायरमेंटल सोशल एंड गवर्नेंस पे अभी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आ गया है कि उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट है, एंड हाउ दे आर मैनेजिंग, एंड उनकी सस्टेनेबिलिटी प्रैक्टिसेस क्या है, वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहती है, कि वो जो बिल्डिंग्स बना रहे हैं वो हाउ ग्रीन सर्टिफिकेशन कितना है, एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी कितनी है, तो वो सबको भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है आजकल। दैट इज ऑल्सो बीइंग सीन वेरी पॉजिटिवली बाय इन्वेस्टर्स एज वेल एज रेटिंग एजेंसी भी उसको अच्छे तरीके से देखती है। बहुत सारे रेगुलेशंस एंड एवरीथिंग तो आते ही रहते हैं जो इम्पैक्ट करते रह रहे हैं, तो वो चलता है। फ्यूचर आउटलुक मतलब इट्स ऑल, आप देखेंगे तो करीबन करीबन वेरियस रिपोर्ट्स और उसके हिसाब से जो हम पढ़ते हैं और जो देखते हैं, कि भाई रियल एस्टेट एक इकोनॉमी को बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूटर है, और वो कम से कम 13% की कंट्री जीडीपी को अपने को सपोर्ट कर रहा है आज भी। करीबन करीबन मार्केट साइज इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू गो 1 ट्रिलियन बाय 2020। होम सेल हैज रीच 3.74 लाख 47 लाख करोड़, मतलब 40% से 40% से ईयर ऑन ईयर इंक्रीज हुआ है, विच इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी गुड नंबर। रेसिडेंशियल सेल्स को रेटिंग एजेंसी लाइक क्रिसिल निकरा भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रही है कि 8 से 10% रेसिडेंशियल सेल ग्रो होगा FY 25 में। कमर्शियल सेगमेंट और स्पेशली ऑफिस स्पेस एंड रिटेल इज ऑल्सो मतलब रिकवर हो रहा है और अच्छा खासा कर रहा है। मेनली कमर्शियल में इंडस्ट्रियल बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, वेयर हाउसेज एंड ऑल, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ऑल टेक्नोलॉजीज कंपनी, अमेजोन, जेप्टो, ब्लिंकिट एंड ऑल, तो इंडस्ट्रियल स्पेस बहुत ज़्यादा लग रहा है और वहाँ वेयर हाउसिंग में बहुत डिमांड पिक है। कमर्शियल रियल एस्टेट में भी इम्प्रूवमेंट आने की एक्सपेक्टेशंस है और हो भी रहा है। और उसके बाद में रिटेल डेवलपमेंट भी बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, बिकॉज द मॉल कल्चर एंड एवरीथिंग इज चेंजिंग टुवर्ड मॉल्स एंड एवरीथिंग, तो वो भी इम्प्रूवमेंट हो रहा है। तो मोर और लेस रियल एस्टेट के लिए अभी तो ऐसा कोई लास्ट 3-4 साल से ठीक ही चल रहे हैं, और ग्रोथ तो हमेशा रियल एस्टेट इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री, बिकॉज आज भी इंडियन कल्चर के हिसाब से एवरीबडी हैव टू हैव देयर ओन हाउस, देयर ओन ऑफिस। तो वो एक अपने कल्चर में है, लाइक फॉरेन कंपनी कंट्रीज जहाँ पे वो रेंटल पे कंफर्टेबल रहते हैं, हमारे यहाँ पे अभी भी वो रेंटल पे कंफर्ट इतना नहीं आता है जितना एक खुद का घर, वो वाला कल्चर रहता ही है, खुद का ऑफिस, खुद का घर, खुद का प्रीमाइस, वो हमेशा रहेगा। तो इसलिए रियल एस्टेट हमेशा रहेगा। आज भी हमारी सेविंग का बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा रियल एस्टेट में लोग इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, इन फॉर्म ऑफ लैंड में करे या प्रॉपर्टीज में करे या कहीं पे भी करे। अगर हम भी एसेस करें तो मोर और लेस अच्छा खासा अपना नेटवर्थ का या इन्वेस्टमेंट्स रियल एस्टेट में होगा। So that is always going to be the very important part of the country as an Indian to us. तो that is the future is always good for real estate. अच्छा ही किया है परफॉर्म हमेशा और करता रहेगा. That's all more or less from my side on the rating side. Of course, I'm happy to take some questions or queries or some doubts if you have anything on the rating side, on the real estate side from the rating perspective or anything. Good.
Surely, sir. Thank you for the enlightening presentation. Your insights on credit rating real estate truly resonates with us as members, the financial professionals in the industry. So we have some live questions. I will read it out one by one. Does RERA have responsibility to ensure quality of construction as per ISI or ISO or any other applicable standards before approval of project? And what about during construction stage also? There are several cases of collapse of buildings which have been under construction. So, what do you have to say about that, Manish sir?
Of course, every project before they start selling has to get approved by the RERA, and not just the RERA. I think if you talk about Bombay, the Mumbai BMC also has to approve it, and they are more responsible on the quality side because they go by each and everything and then approve, and they are set for every construction and every approval जो आपको government से मिलती है. Quality certificates has to be given submitted to first to the government, then only they give the further CC and all. तो मेरे ख्याल से रेरा से ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी गवर्नमेंट की रहती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वालिटी मेजरमेंट, बिकॉज क्वालिटी सर्टिफिकेट्स, द अप्रूवल्स एंड एवरीथिंग गोज बेस्ड ऑन दैट, एंड अप्रूवल भी वो क्वालिटी के साथ ही दिया जाता है. रेरा इज
Understood.
और
Please, sir, please proceed.
RERA is mainly for the financial discipline, timeline discipline and all these things. जहाँ ज़्यादा होता है डॉक्यूमेंट ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. तो वो वहाँ पे कि आपको सारा डेटा एक ही जगह पे रेरा की वेबसाइट पे आपको दिख जाएंगे, आपको एग्रीमेंट के ड्राफ्ट दिख जाएंगे, आपको प्रॉपर्टी के पुराने पेपर दिख जाएंगे, आपको करंट स्टेटस दिख जाएगा, करंट प्रोजेक्ट का क्या है. तो वो आपको मतलब बिल्डर्स जो आपको कुछ भी बोल के भेज देते थे वो नहीं दिखे, क्योंकि ट्रांसपेरेंसी ज़्यादा आ गई है, डिसिप्लिन आ गया है बिकॉज ऑफ दी नॉर्म्स कि भाई आपको टाइम पे कंप्लीट करना है और आपको क्या क्या देना है वो पहले से डिसाइडेड है. तो आप कुछ भी चेंज नहीं कर सकते बिफोर, मतलब लाइक पहले आप कुछ भी बिल्डर कुछ प्रॉमिस करके कुछ और बना के दे देता था, वो सब खत्म हो गया. तो ये डिसिप्लिन, ट्रांसपेरेंसी, फाइनेंशियल डिसिप्लिन, वो सब के लिए बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया है इनका.
Understood, sir. And one more thing, sir, you may please stop sharing your screen as we are in the Q&A round. Yes, please, sir. So moving on to our next question, we have been actually, you have already highlighted about the credit rating aspect of it from scratch, from the fundamentals to covering everything. We just wanted to understand from an investor's perspective, how do investors interpret and like respond to changes in credit ratings? Just like you were showing, there's an upgrade. So, what are particularly the basis on which there could be an downgrade or an upgrade, whatever the case may be?
Of course, upgrade and downgrade, as I told you, the entire process can happen on any of the parameters. There can be, suppose there is you come up with a large project where is a lot dependence also is there on the customer advances and there is no sale, rating may have changed. There is you have a liquidity problem because you are not getting enough money and then there is a repayment coming, the construction is getting delayed, your project is getting delayed, it may downgrade or you have delayed on the payments to the banks and everything, rating may change. So there are a lot, and of course at the same time it may increase based on the better sales velocity. आपने अच्छा sales कर दिया, आपने timely complete कर दिया, आपने faster completion कर दिए, आपने तो उसमें upgrade भी हो जाता है fast. So there are a lot of things being taken care while doing the rating.
Understood, sir. And what other factors like do you consider beyond the credit rating itself? Like when you assess the credit worthiness of a business, maybe not particularly real estate, but in common generally.
The management is the most important, and it's a common in all the industries and sectors because that's where the you can say the willingness comes. The credit readiness has two pillars. One is ability, and then the willingness. So willingness comes from the management side. Their track record, their integrity, their transparencies, and everything is most important. Apart from that, of course, then to every business for the ability to understand, you have to do a detailed assessment. So that's what there are various parameters are.
Right, sir. So if we look at real estate investment opportunities, like you have also highlighted this, but if we were to compare different real estate investment opportunities, how would we do that basis the credit ratings if we were to decide basis this?
Investment, if you are going to invest into a project, suppose, of course, you have many options to invest: warehouses, land, then commercial spaces, and then residential. If you are investing in a project, of course, the rating is can give you a good idea on the strength of the project developer to complete on time and everything. So that is also there. T- at the same time, of course, the tenure is also important. The earlier, the better. So I think you are not talking about the investor's perspective. You are just talking about how rating can help you in doing a better decision, right?
So from an investor's perspective only, like to invest into
Investors,
different opportunities related to
yeah.
real estate.
So
Yeah.
when you look at the investment from a real estate, the highest reason has been given by, if you go on the order, it has been by lands, then industrial warehouses and all. And after industrial warehouses and all, then you can say commercial spaces, and then comes the residential. So residential in terms of the returns which we are getting now in last 3 4 years.
Okay, understood. Thank you for answering that, sir. We would like to understand the future outlook or maybe the trends in this industry that may affect the credit ratings.
Future outlook, overall industry, of course, going to be good. But then, as I said, it's a cyclical business. So there can be some this 3 years, last 3 years, 4 years has been good for the industries. There might be a cycle for next, say, which 4 5 years might be bad for the industry, which we have also seen before COVID. There was a slack cycle happening, and there was real estate was into trouble stage, and lot of developer has also defaulted in that time. So that cycle will always be plus. There will be cyclical place will always there 4 5 years good, 5 7 years bad, and then. But however, it will keep growing with the time because a lot of savings still goes into real estate in the economy. A lot of people still believe in real estate as an investment only because they don't believe in stocks and all paper currency. So that the growth is going to be there. And as I said, there was a lot of report also which say okay, we are going to reach a market size of 1 trillion by 2030. And anyway, we are today also contribute around 13% of the GDP. So it is going to grow as an industry. That is all. The cycle will always be plus and minus. So that nobody knows when it is going to be high and when it is going to be low.
Definitely, sir. Backed by the numbers and fact, there is always the hope. So thank you for these compelling insights. And it is crucial for us, all the members, the CAs, to remain agile and be informed in this changing market. So as we engage in this discussion, I would encourage our audience to submit more questions through the Q&A feature. Your engagement is vital to the success of our conversation with our esteemed guest speakers. So, taking it forward, first of all, thank you, Manish sir, for your valuable time and insights. And now we would like to move on to our next topic, which is financing of real estate projects, which would be addressed by our second speaker, by our esteemed speaker, Dr. Anil Yadav Raoji Gaikwad. Dr. Anil, could you please unmute yourself and
Good afternoon, madam.
yes, yes. Could you please switch on your video?
Yeah, you are able to see me?
Introducing, yes, please, thank you. Introducing Dr. Anil Gaikwad. He is BA in production from VJTI, MMS. He has done his marketing studies, his management studies from Jamnalal Bajaj, JBIMS. He is also a PhD holder. He has very rich experience of good 36 years, wherein he has spent his 14 years in project financing, development banking at IFCI, and from past 22 years, he has been focused on the specifically his practice of corporate advisory services. He's been working with major industry houses, MSMEs, financial and business restructuring and corporate financing, and Lotus Consultant and Enterprises Group. Socially active, he is. He has also published papers on entrepreneurship, governance, etc. We are excited to hear you, sir. And then we can also conclude with a Q&A session going forward at the end. You can please keep sharing your questions while the webinar is in progress. We will be taking it at the end. We are compiling your questions. Over to you, Dr. Anil, sir. Please take it forward.
Good evening, everyone. It is pleasure to talk to esteemed members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and we keep on interacting with the chartered accountants as into the banking industry. But addressing chartered accountant is a really difficult task, as I consider. Okay, my presentation I have divided into three parts. One will be the overview of the real estate sector in India. Then we'll go to see the financing options available today, and then the last, the challenges faced by the real estate sector. Here, I would like to mention that there will be some overlap because Mr. Manish has covered many things which my presentation may be having. So please bear with me. But I will try to skip the things which are overlapping. Okay. So we'll start from what is the real estate? What sector it consists of? I mean, what are the industries are there? So first thing is that is housing projects, apartments, villas, and affordable housing. These are the aspects covered under residential real estate. Then this is the place where majorly people are focusing today, because there is a lot of demand emerging in big towns and particularly metros. Then the commercial estate or office spaces, retail outlets, shopping malls, warehouses. These are also covered under real estate. Then industrial real estate, various there are industry houses are also there, and then there are factories. All these things also can be are also classified under real estate. Then hospitality, of course, hotels, resorts, and other services where people can come and use that for their own use. This is also covered under real estate. Okay. If we see all this sector, if we classify, that out of this, which are the sectors which are how much percentage they have. So commercial office space is 45%, then residential is 30%, retail is 15%, and hospitality is around 10%. We'll just see the background of the real estate industry since independence. Just after independence, we were having very poor qualities of houses, and government's main thrust was on the building new houses. So we will not talk about the era before the independence, but post independence, government wanted to have good housing for the citizens. So in 1970, they started organization called HUDCO, which undertaking the various development of the housing projects. And Maharashtra, we also have some organization called CIDCO. Okay. Then post independence, and particularly after 1991, if we see that government also started allowing foreign direct investment, so that the housing can be the construction of the housing can be speed up. Then government also established in 1988 National Housing Bank, which will also instrumental in accelerating the growth.
Anil sir,
You are not able to
I
hear
would
me?
just like I would just like to say something. Your screen is kind of stagnant at one place. If you are moving your screen, could you please check
Yeah,
that?
I'm moving my screen, but on a different computer. Okay, I have
Okay.
connected on a tab, whereas I'm sharing the screen from my laptop.
Okay, sir, please
Is
go
it
ahead.
taking-
Or you may unshare it if your presentation cannot be seen by the audience.
Oh my God, because I have changed the slides. I mean, lot of slides I have changed. Because I shared it from some other laptop. No, my screen is changing at my end. Yes, yes. Okay, now you are able to see my screen, slide number 14. Hello.
So you may, if that is not visible like that, you may proceed it like this only.
Okay, okay. So I was talking about the post liberalization. There was a lot of growth because of the IT industry came into India, and they created a lot of demand. So after 2008, there was some slowdown in the industry, and real estate industry had a setback during 2008. But if we say that after 2010 onwards, if we see that we are seeing the growth in the industry, and government also came up with the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act in 2016 to regulate the industry, because there are a lot of people were cheated by some of the some of the builders who are not having the good intentions. So 2016, many things are now being regulated under this RERA. Then after GST, the taxation was also regularized. There was different state had different kind of taxation, so that was also regularized. And then in 2022, we had set a goal that everybody should have a house, so that also fueled the real estate. And then again we came out with the smart city mission in 2015. That also helped growing the demand for the industry. If we see the performance of the sector, that last since 2021 we are growing And as Mr. Manish has already mentioned that we have a target of $1 trillion market size of real estate industry by 2030. If we see that today we are on 477 million US dollars, that is the size of the industry today. And as we have said that Vikasit Bharat objective, where we can see that the real estate boom once again coming up. If we see that, if we read the report for the KPMG on real estate, that it's saying that between 2020 and 2030, the industry is expected to grow at around 18%. See, the construction industry is now contributing to close to 9% of the GDP today. And if we see that last one decade, it has, there are 37% total increase over the last 10 years. And this is mainly because government has introduced a lot of incentives like tax incentives, and even for the tax which the buyer is paying on their interest they are paying, they are also eligible for the tax benefit. So these are various aspects. Because of this, the industry is growing. And if you see that the performance today, we have shortage of at least 10 million units that I'm talking about only of the towns where we need this kind of housing even to meet the existing demand. But at the same time, like metros, the taxation is slightly in favor of the government, and that's why if we see like town like metros like Mumbai or Pune or Delhi, the properties prices are gone up. And if we earlier we used to get a house for 40-50 lakhs, now nothing is available below 1 crore. And there, if we see that 6% stamp duty is there, GST is there, and there are other taxes. So that 35% is going to the government. So that is the one of the reason we are having some issues where the common people are not able to buy the houses. They are not able to afford the houses in the locality where they want. So like city like Bombay, then people have to move away from the main town. So as far as the government's target is concerned, we are targeting at least 15.5% share in the GDP by 2047, which is when we are going to become a Vikasit Bharat. Okay.
Anitha?
You are not able to see any of the slides? Pardon?
Yes, I would like to interject. If you can please unshare your screen. You can stop sharing it.
Okay.
We will try if we can present matching your pace. You can meanwhile continue to proceed with your presentation without presenting it.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. I have stopped sharing the screen now. It
has not stopped yet. Could you please try from your other device?
Okay.
Yes, done. You can hide your camera at one device. It's visible from two places.
Okay. Now it's okay?
Perfect.
Yeah. So we were talking about we were talking about real estate sector. And if we compare real estate sector, just a minute, I'm getting echo.
So you can yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Sure, sir. That is
Okay.
fine now.
So
Please
if we
proceed.
compare Indian real estate industry, if we see that the global estate market is much larger than what we have in India. The United States, China, Japan, and other UK are some of the largest real estate market in the world. In contrast, the Indian real estate market is relatively small in terms of both market size and volume. However, the Indian real estate market has been growing rapidly in recent years due to increased investment and demand. The Indian real estate market is heavily regulated by government with the strict rules and regulations governing the industry. In contrast, the global real estate market is less regulated and with a in various different countries. But if we see that the real estate in India is relatively more affordable than in many other global markets, this is due to the lower land price, construction cost, and the relatively low cost of living in India. However, this also means that real estate investment in India may yield lower returns compared to investment in other global countries. That's the reason many of the people do not prefer, particularly NRIs who are the people who are staying abroad, who are having Indian origin, they do not invest much in the Indian real estate. Some of the friends say that the benefit what they get because of the appreciation is sometimes nullified by the exchange rate fluctuations. The global real estate market is generally more stable and less volatile than the Indian real estate market. This is due to a more established and mature market, as well as greater investment opportunities and diversification. I'm on slide number 32. The Indian real estate market, on other hand, is more volatile and subject to fluctuation in the demand and supply. If we see as far as employment is concerned, is one of the, after the agriculture sector, the highest sector which employs people in India is the real estate sector. There are today 71 million people are employed, and if you see that 10 years ago it was just 40 million. So this is a much improvement in the employment, and it accounts for 18% of the total workforce in the country. The future outlook of real estate is positive and expected that it will continue. So the National Skill Development Council, they are saying that 87% of the people employed in the real estate are working in housing sector, and only the housing and the commercial sector, and only 13% employees are there in the infrastructure sector. So majorly people are working in the housing and commercial sector. Of course, there are some graphs I had placed where we could have seen graphical presentation. Today, if you see the investment in real estate sector, the Indian real estate sector has witnessed high growth in the recent times with rise in demand for office as well as residential place. The private equity investment in India is around 4.2 billion in 2023. The current year's figure is not available. The private equity investment in real estate in first 6 months was 3 billion during the current year. India's real estate sector saw a threefold increase in foreign institutional inflows worth 26.6 billion during the period ranging from 2017 to 2022. Exports from SEZ reached 152.2 billion in 23-24. If we compare with that, it is much higher than that. Which are the main key factors which are driving the rapid urbanization, then the increase in the income earning capacity of the middle class, then increase in the foreign investment, government initiative like smart cities and mission for housing for everyone. So if we see which are the cities which is having the highest number of projects, the Mumbai metropolitan region is the highest, having highest number of projects which are ongoing, particularly in residential housing. And another factor which is affecting today is that work from home culture, which is now affecting in some of the towns where particularly post-COVID, people were preferring to stay at home, and organizations were asking people to stay at home, and that's the reason there was some decline. But now again, the people have started going to office, so you can see the increase in the demand. So if we see that what kind of demand is there, that mid segment where houses are ranging from 40 lakhs to 80 lakhs, there are 35% of the total demand, which goes in 40 to 80 lakhs. Premium segment ranges from 80 lakhs to 1.5 lakh, 5 crores, and luxury segment, of course, anything above 1.5 crores. That is what is the today composition of the market. And other asset class which are coming up in the, or which are we are going to see in the near future are the warehousing, then data centers and co-living and student housing. These are the sectors where we are expecting a big demand in future. Now, this is about the overview of the industry. Now, let us see which some of the regulatory framework controlling the real estate industry. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs are the one which is controlling the entire sector. They are formulating the policies, they are supporting the program, coordinating various activities, monitoring, and then planning for the development in the cities, and improving so that the livelihood can be improved. So the Real Estate Regulatory Authority is a regulatory body established by the government to oversee the regulate the real estate sector in specific region in our country. So this in 2016, in order to regulate, they came up with the Real Estate Regulation Authority, and then also they came up with the act called Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, which is passed by the Parliament and which is controlling now the entire. So I will jump to the another regulatory bodies, urban development authorities, under which we have urban development authorities, municipal corporation, town, country and planning organizations, state industrial development investment corporations, housing and urban development corporations, etc. The other act which affect or which are having effect on the real estate industry, the Transfer of Property Act, then Companies Act, Land Acquisition Act. Then we in Maharashtra, we have Maharashtra Slum Areas Improvement, Clearance and Development Act, and then Maharashtra Regional and Town Planning Act. And to control some of this or to resolve some issues, we also have the Real Estate Regulatory Authority and Appellate Tribunal, which deals with the dispute coming from in the real estate, particularly in housing sector. What government is doing? Government is definitely promoting real estate. one of the main initiative they have taken is affordable housing, under which the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was launched, and we had a target of everybody should have house by 2022, but we are still not reached that level, but we are soon expected to reach. Then smart city project, and then the tax incentive. These are the initiatives taken by the government which is helping the sector to grow. Now, if we see the SWOT analysis of the this industry, if we see that the strength of the Indian real estate industry is high demand. The real estate market is seeing strong demand, and by 2025, we are going to have value reach to 3.47 lakhs crore. Then government is supporting by policy support. Then other strength of the real estate sector is attractive investment, and then inflation hedge. If you see the weakness of the Indian real estate industry, then non-liquid assets, then these are the basic issue why people are not investing in a big way, because if you buy a house or if you buy a property, it becomes difficult to dispose of at the time when you want it. Then the ticket size, the large capital is required, so that is also one of the hindrance. Then technological development is not happening as happened in other countries, and inadequate human resources. We are having around 4 lakh civil engineers every day we pass out, whereas this we do not have the architect, which is just 24,000 total. If you see the entire India, only 24,000 architects are being developed every year, which is much lower and which is also affecting the industry. What are the opportunities? The tax benefit on home loans, the technological advancements, then potential to diversify, and there is a barrier entry is there. Then threat. What are the threat? Volatility in the market. This real estate market is very volatile.
Anilji, your voice is not audible properly.
Okay, now it's okay.
Better it is, sir.
I will switch off my video.
No, it's fine. Now it's audible.
Yeah. Okay.
You can turn on your video for better visibility.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are the threats to the Indian real estate market? The volatility in financial markets, unstable demand. Unstable demand is one of the big issues we have. Then competition from other investment, like mutual fund is very aggressively marketing. So everybody, even the banks, are facing the problem because the fixed deposits are going towards mutual fund. So people are they are talking about liquidity, which is not there in case of real estate. Then we have a lot of regulatory difficulties. Now let us see what are the options we have for the financing. That is our second topic. Getting the project finance at right cost. I think it is one of the major concern every developer or every real estate company has. And if we see that the real estate, commercial real estate, housing, hospitality, hotel, all these are all asset class are classified under real estate, and that's why one of the main constraint banks are facing is that the prudential norms, where exposure to the particular industry, that creates the hurdle. That creates the hurdle for lending to the many projects. Another thing is that the developers which not having the good track record are also not able to raise money from the banking we have a lot of other avenues also now coming up for financing our projects. We'll see one by one. One is, of course, definitely a banking loan. Then NBFCs, some of the NBFCs have now become more aggressive, and they also started lending. But issue with the getting money from the NBFC, that the cost of funds is much higher compared to the bank, and that's where the promoters feel the pinch, and the margins goes down. So, but still, some of the builders prefer to go to NB because they are not able to get it from the bank. Then we have real estate investment trust. The real estate investment trust allows investors to pull funds for income generating real estate assets, providing a way to raise capital for large development. Infrastructure investment funds, which is a business trust like REIT, registered with a market regulator that owns, operates, and manages operational infrastructure assets. These long-term revenue generating infrastructure assets in turn generate cash flow, which are then distributed to the unit holders. This concept is similar to the mutual fund, where the profit is shared with the people. Then, of course, equity is another option where we can finance our project. There are two types of equities available. One is from the promoters, their relatives, and another is private equity. There are a lot of private equity firms as well. Because of the stringent norms in income recognition by the bank, even if with the 2 or 3 defaults, people's names or the company's name is included in the defaulters list, there's something known as SMA1 and SMA2. That's where people see that, instead of going to banks, people are now more preferring to get the loan from other sources or maybe from the private equity. Of course, venture capital is also there.
Could you put your microphone near to you so that what you're speaking is a little more.
I will have to switch off my video if I have to do that. That's the reason I was telling you.
Okay, you can switch it off, but it should be like audible at least.
Yeah, okay. So venture capital is also there, but venture capital is normally only available for the innovative projects and not for the routine projects. Then, of course, the government schemes are there, such as Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which also provide a subsidy and help the people to have their houses. Institutions like National Housing Bank and HUDCO, Housing and Urban Development Corporation, also offers financial schemes to the specific projects. Then, of course, the next choice can be from the angel investors, where the high net worth individual may invest in promising real estate to gain the profit. There are something also known as joint venture. There are people who come as an investor and come as an investor to share profit with from the companies. Then there is something known as asset-based lending, where people some of the inventory what they have, they can get it loan against property from the bank. Then funding from the friends and families are another option. Then, of course, external commercial borrowing is another option nowadays available to a lot of builders. And even government of India is also allowing now 100% FDI in real estate industry. See, there is another practice which is going on, which is not officially done, but what some of the builders I have seen that what they do, they get hold of some group of people from particular sector and ask them to book their book property and get the loan from the banks and get the loan as a housing loan, and then that collect that money, and with that advances they build houses. But of course this is not a right practice, but it is happening in many builders are doing that. Then alternate investment funds are AIFs that have come up now. The lot of AIF, there are around thousand, around close to 1,000 AIF registered with SEBI. Some of them are active in the real estate industry, but issue with AIF is that they are not looking for, they are not willing to stay in a project for a very long period, and they want the builder to go for takeout financing. So initial period they will finance the project, and over the maybe another 1 year, 2 years down the line, they say we want to take out our money, and they ask the promoter to take a loan from somewhere else, some banking or some other sources or some other AIF fund. Then AI with the AIF they raise money from long term from the various sources, and they keep on churning from one project to another so that they can maximize returns for their investors. Of course, the AIFs are regulated, and SEBI is regulating all their working. So they are answerable to the SEBI. Then of course, next alternative we have the foreign direct investment, which is now if we see the Gulf countries, there are a lot of people who are providing funds to India from they're known as Islamic Fund. Okay, and they come as a partner. They get the money in India, and they want to share the profit. Then overseas portfolio investors are, of course, there are many investors abroad which group together and they invest in India as a investment so that they can get benefit from the Indian projects. Then of course schemes like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and other schemes where the philanthropic activities are happening also can get donations under CSR funding, and they can complete their projects. But this is not for the commercial purpose. Basically, this is only for the affordable housing and tribal people who cannot afford to buy a house. This CSR funding is being used to construct houses so that they can have their houses under this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Then crowdfunding is, of course, crowdfunding where people come together and they can invest in a project. But these are basically small investment. You cannot have a big investment here. Then of course, lease to own model is another model where this is particularly not for the builders or the developers. This is for the people who want to buy a house. They can buy a house on lease, and it is similar to a scheme like hire purchase where they buy the house, they will pay slightly more premium as a rent, and at the end of the period or at a certain period, they can buy the house at whatever agreed price, since they do not have money to invest immediately. Then funding from the family offices. This is also one of the options available nowadays, where the family houses are, their surplus money, they are investing in real estate projects so that they can reap the advantage of the growth in the real estate projects. Then, of course, LRD, as Mr. Manish has mentioned, that also is one of the options available. Once you develop the project and if the inventory remains unsold, you can rent it out, and that the whatever rent you get from that unsold inventory, you can go for lease rental discounting and use that money to complete other projects. So that is also one of the options available nowadays. And then, of course, financing under special window for affordable and mid-income housing, SWAMIT fund. That is one of the fund which is launched by the government. It was sponsored by Ministry of Finance recently, and this is basically to bail out the builders which are stuck in their project and they are not able to complete the project because they are not getting money from any other sources. So under Swamin Fund, you can also borrow money, and of course the the cost of the funds will be slightly higher, but the stressed or the people the project which are not able to go ahead, they are not able to complete, or can be financed under this. This is also one of the things available, and it has financed many projects. There are around approval of 130 projects, big projects under this, so that this is going to be big way in the future also. So there are, of course, for the people, which is technology and innovation financing for for fintech companies, which are also giving the money. But of course, those are the smaller money. These are not for the big projects. Then there are some blockchain technology also can be used for financing, where the transparency also can in the land records, etc., can be used. Then funding of the hospitality infrastructure project. This particular segment is treated as with parallel to the any other project funding, because hospitality and infrastructure project has a longer gestation period, and the payback period also is not short. So this hospitality and infrastructure project can be treated under project finance by the bank and can be funded with a regular channel without having any without going for any other sources. And some of the projects also can be financed by the government, and international institution like Asian Development Bank also lends money here, because these are the projects are for the larger population that can be useful. Then we are coming to the last segment, that is challenges faced by the real estate sector. Of course, regulatory policies. I am going to rush through this because of, I think, time. Regulatory policy issues are there. These are the real estate in India is governed by complex wave of regulations at both central and state levels. This often leads to inconsistent and delay in the project approvals, impacting the ease of doing business. Then market volatility. The Indian market is very cyclic, and the economic downturn in various other countries also affecting. Although we are not facing the heat, but people are getting affected because of the perspective they have from other countries. So the demand really is not very steady in nowadays. It goes ups and downs. So the market volatility is there. Then funding constraint is of course there. Securing financing remaining a significant challenge for the real estate developer in India. Most of the builders are not able to get money from the banks, so they have to take money from NBFCs or other alternative finance, where the rate of interest is very high, and then their margin goes down, so they face a difficulty. Their profitability goes down, and for the smaller development, it becomes very difficult to get money. Then property acquisition issue is one of the things. Like in Bombay, place like Bombay, we have a lot of redevelopment projects and also the slum rehabilitation projects, where the funding, getting funds is almost impossible if there is no mortgageable rights. So they have to resort to the avenues where they have to raise money at very high cost. And of course, technologically advancement is also one of the issue. Huge unsold inventory is lying today, and of course, but if we see that recent data in last from 23 to 24, last 2, 3, 4 quarters, the inventory is like in Mumbai, inventory has gone down by 1%, but in Calcutta it has increased. Whereas Ahmedabad also it is now down by 15%. Small and challenges faced by the small and medium-sized projects. Large corporates also tap to the stock market. There are many listed companies which are raising money from the public through the but so smaller projects always suffers, and they have no access to the funds, and many projects get stuck up, and many people who uh, give advances even with the RERA registration, some of the projects get stuck up because once I have seen as a of the record, the builders, even if they get money from their people who book the projects, they divert to some other projects and then the project gets stuck up. Of course, these are the resource constraints for smaller projects. Metro projects, another thing that many people go for redevelopment. Builders take up the project for redevelopment, and then they get stuck up with some of the legal issues created by the many antisocial element. I will tell you one of the project which I am handling where the redevelopment project is on, and because of the Bombay, we have to do a lot of piling work. So the neighbors have complained that they are not able to absorb these vibrations, and their buildings are getting cracks. So this project got stuck up, and we don't know what to do now. So these are the few things I wanted to share, and of course I have given the references on my PPT, which you can go through, which from where I have taken the data. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anilji.
Sorry
It
for
was insightful.
a lot of disturbance because of I'm
No worries.
is not very stable here.
Some things are not under our control sometimes. That's fine. We had knowledge about funding options, insights on regulatory frameworks, risks, future trends, including technology, blockchain, and whatnot. So, on the financing of real estate, we have understood primary financing options, trends, also the role of different sources of funds. So now we move ahead to our interesting part, which is the Q&A. So we have received a few questions from our audience. I will read out the first question to you, Anil sir. Compliance with environmental regulations has become very critical. Supreme Court has ordered demolition of completed housing buildings on the recovery of non-compliance of on account of non-compliance of environmental regulations by the builder. What do you have to say on that?
I think big projects are where infrastructure is being built, where the organization, there are many organizations, government organizations, where we have to obtain clearance in advance. But in case of buildings or in metros, I don't think so. Any particular authority is looking after this particular aspect, to the best of my knowledge. So I think RERA should put this condition, if it is already not there, that every building should get environmental clearance. This particularly happens when where the projects, like I'm again referring to the Mumbai, where the CRZ, where the sea and mangroves are there, where people start building houses, and then somebody complains, and then government come into picture, and then they stall the project. Like I have seen one building where in area where I stay, which is last 20 years. It is I think it's a part of Hiranandani Group. The building is standing there, and they are not getting environmental clearance. So I think it should be made mandatory as a procedure to have environmental clearance as well, like it is there for the industrial infrastructure, but not for the housing. So I think this should be implemented.
Right, sir. and regards the role of private equity funds. So, in case of large scale real estate projects in India, so what would these private equity play a role in that?
See, private equity, the one of the main issue with when we are raising money from the private equity, I'm talking from the builder's perspective, the cost of ultimate cost, because when the private equity people expect minimum 25, about 25% return, and they also ask the owners to sign buyback agreement. I mean the developer. So private equity is good way of funding, but then from the builder's point of view, the cost of fund is high, because if the buyback agreement is not executed, people can sell the equity to some other party, which may not, the promoters may not be compatible with this. So private equity is a good option, and lot of I have at least 6-7 projects where we are trying to get some private equity. One of the lender we have, who is like I as mentioned, they want to put money in India from particular GCC countries, where they want to get it as a ECB, but actually they want profit share. But this arrangement is still okay, because it is coming as a ECB, and there is only the profit you have to share, but they are not sitting on the board of the company. But if we see that private equity, if they put person on the board also in the company, and then there's a lot of issues come up. If the project is get held up, or the promoter has multiple projects. If there's only one project, private equity is normally is not very much keen to come. But if there's a big developer which has multiple projects going on, then private equity, they do come. So private equity is good option, but it is equity. Private equity is very, very selective. They are not, it's not very easy to get money from. If there is any litigation in the any of the project, the private equity straightway walks out. They say no, this particular litigation might held up this project also. So that's a good option, but may not be preferred by me.
Right, sir. Moving on to our next question. Can the financier decline to accept the pre closure of a housing loan and levy the pre closure charges? Even if there is unmet need for funding of real estate, what is the current legality of the same in the light of recent code, including consumer code, banking ombudsman, RERA, like these kind of decisions? What is your insight and opinion on that?
Pre-closure, you are I think you are referring from the buyer's point of view, right?
Housing loan.
Housing loan. See, if this premium is basically based on the difference in the rate of interest. Okay, if that particular point of time the rate of interest, the current lending rate is smaller, lower, and what cost they have lent is higher, then it becomes main issue while pre-closing. Of course, now so I have seen that some of the people, what they do once you don't agree for the pre-closure, they start defaulting, and then bank come to the table and settle. But of course, that is not the right practice. But pre-closure and shifting from one bank to another bank, that they charge when they charge, it is not actually right thing to do from the banking point of view. Because if the current rate of interest has gone down, then they should allow if allowed to borrow at lower rate, or reset the interest rate in their own account. Yeah.
So we have another question. Does RERA cover the mortgage of property post construction as well? So please explain the concept of reverse mortgage for the sake of our audience. and its utility to senior citizens who have low cash or income. What is the risk involved in the reverse mortgage deals for the owner and legal heirs of the mortgage property?
I think in case of reverse mortgage, the main risk involved is that the property prices goes exorbitantly high when we are doing the deal, and when after maybe 3 4 years properties prices are gone up very much. In that case, the citizens, the borrowers feel that they have now they don't have sufficient fund to square off the account. So they feel that our property is going at a very lower rate. But at the same time, from the citizen point of view, it is, I think, wonderful opportunity, a wonderful option people have. I have seen recently. I came across one family where the main family person died, and then wife and daughter were the two. Wife, the daughter is having some mental
So
issues.
your voice is very low. Can you please speak a little louder?
So the,
Yes, perfect.
now it's okay. So the family was not having any other source of fund. So I suggested them to go for the reverse merger. Okay, they wanted to go, but then their relatives started saying that why you want to, because they have no son, so the property and that the daughter is mentally not stable. So relatives said we will give the money, and but still the relatives had altered this reverse mortgage process. Or what happened that they are not very regular, and the family is getting that difficulty now. But if they can go for reverse mortgage, they would have in much better financial condition. But I don't know. Reverse mortgage is a wonderful opportunity for the people who do not have, or their next generation is not supporting them. So encash the property as anyway that tenure is always such a that way that the property will be taken away by the bank only after you are not there, both the partners. So I think that's a good opportunity for the people who do not have resources. Yeah.
Thank you for your insights, Anil sir. So, as we draw this insightful session to a close, I want to extend my heartful thanks to our speakers, Manish ji and Dr. Anil, for sharing their expertise on real estate. Your contributions today has been invaluable for our audience as a whole. Thank you. I also want to thank CMIB and ICI for organizing this event and providing a platform for such meaningful dialogue between the speakers. Its collaborations like these strengthen our community and pave the way for future opportunities. So, would like to hear from you, sir, if there is any concluding remarks from your side. Over to you, Anand, sir.
Yeah, I take this opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present myself. Of course, there are a lot of technical hitch. Had it been live, I mean, in a classroom, I normally take this kind of session in the classroom, where the interaction with the participant, and then we can really develop this topic in much bigger way. But of course, technology has its own limitations. What I can do, and I am really I regret that there are a lot of technical hitch from my side.
No worries, sir. It has been really insightful in terms of the quantum of options that you have shared with us. Really, we have also dealt with real estate, REITs, and all. So we were looking at it, and it was really your presentation contained a lot of options of financing that even some of them were even new to me as well. Thank you for your participation. Thank you. I thank the audience as well. And I look forward to seeing you at our next event. Together, let's keep pushing the boundaries of excellence in our profession. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, ICI, for this opportunity to moderate this event with our learned speakers, Dr. Anil and CA Manish Jainji.
Thank you.
This is Manisha Luthra signing off. Thank you.